took. Then Biden comes in and issues executive orders that eliminates all of those policies, and he then begins to ignore laws that are on the books as we speak. Remember this, Joe Biden told you and our fellow Americans 2 weeks ago he needed more laws for him to be able to secure the border. Completely false. There are 3 laws on the books that do these 3 things. One law requires the president to deny illegal entry into the United States. And he's not enforced that law. He's aided and abetted people coming in illegally. Second law requires him to detain anybody who crosses the border illegally. He hasn't detained them. He's allowed them to go anywhere they want. The third thing that Congress has required is that the president must build border barriers. The only person building border barriers is the governor of the Lone Star State. The dangers are treacherous. Now I'm talking about fentanyl and fentanyl deaths. There's a whole lot more. We got people who are wanted for murder that we arrest. We've got people that cross the border that commit murder in the state of Texas. We've got the cartels running rampant. There are people on the terrorist watch list who are apprehended. Well, here's the deal. If you're on the terrorist watch list, you pay extra not to be caught. What I would say what Joe Biden doesn't know, but the fact of the matter, he doesn't know a whole lot. What the CIA and FBI do not know, and the FBI directors talked about this. They don't know the number of people on the terrorist watch list who have crossed the border, where they are, what they're doing, what they could do. We face imminent dangers. We face an invasion of more than 8 million people that Joe Biden has allowed to cross that border illegally. And that is exactly why I declared an invasion under Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution. It's also why that park area that you see in Eagle Pass, a town of just about 20,000 people, where you would see if you're watching on Fox News or whatever TV station that you're watching, an area where during the course of some days there's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 or 5,000 people crossing the border in that little town. And Joe Biden would use it as a stocking area where they would take apprehended migrants and have them wait there as they're being processed and then dismissed around the country. And I told our National Guard, you seize that park, you wire it shut, and do not let anybody in that park. Since we did that, we don't have thousands of people crossing a day. We don't have hundreds of people crossing a day. We don't have dozens of people crossing a day. We got a few people crossing a day, most of whom are apprehended. And when you look at from a broader perspective, it goes beyond just that one part. Texas, the border in Texas, represents about 2/3 of the entire border between the United States and Mexico. And early on under Joe Biden, because Texas is further south, it's easier to get to. There were far more than 2/3 of the people crossing the border that were crossing in Texas. And then Texas began putting up the resistance and made it more difficult for the cartels to smuggle people in. And then we wired shut Eagle Pass. Did you see what I did this last Friday? We now are building our own military base for the National Guard. It'll be able to house more than 2,000 soldiers who had been living in hotel and motel rooms all scattered across the region. But we're down there to do that, and those National Guard members, they are adding more wire. So they've already built more than 100 miles of razor wire border barrier and are adding anti-crime barrier walls also.
Build that wall!
It is set, build that wall. Let me tell you about building that wall. know this, and that is, if you go back to the time of George Washington until today, Texas is the only state to build our own border wall. And we did not reinvent the wheel here. We're building the exact same border wall that President Trump was putting up on our border. The difference is this, and that is when you look at the miles that we have already completed, plus the miles under construction right now, Texas is adding more of Trump's border wall in Texas than Trump built in Texas. So we've got Trump's border wall, razor wire border wall, other barriers that we are putting up. And then Biden comes in and begs the United States Supreme Court to allow his border patrol to cut the razor wire. Have you ever seen a president do that? Remember what I said earlier. I said there's a law passed by Congress that requires the president to build a barrier. And I'm doing it while Joe Biden is trying to violate the laws of the United States of America by cutting the razor wire wall that we built. And so when that Supreme Court issued its decision, which actually said nothing about the razor wire barrier that we were building, it just sent the case back down to the Federal Court of Appeals. When the Supreme Court issued that decision, I did not tell the National Guard to double the razor wire. I told the National Guard, I want you to triple the razor wire. That's what they're doing. And that's why we need a base down there. Because we're going to continue this. And by God, unless and until Joe Biden starts following those laws that already exist, we will continue busing those migrants to sanctuary cities across the entire country. What a bunch of hypocrites these people are. You know, they don't beg, oh, please send us all your people. They sign what's on the Statue of Liberty, all that kind of stuff. And then when they have a couple of thousand migrants show up, they crumble. All I can tell you is that that mayor of New York would never last a day in the state of Texas. But I tell you something else. I need somebody that I can trust in the Texas House of Representatives when it comes to these issues. I need to be able to say, listen, we need this, this, and this to build the border wall. I need someone I can go to and know, even before I go to talk to her, she's going to say, yes, Governor, go do it and do even more. And that is what we have in Helen Kerwin. So building the border, to supporting your values, to cutting your property taxes, to doing everything that needs to be done, and more that you need. Helen is the right person for you. And you're not going to believe this. This is an issue of contrast. Just a couple of top line details. So, not voting to support you and what you clearly said that you do about school choice. Your current member of the Texas House also voted with liberal Democrats to reduce criminal penalties. He voted against expanding some of your Second Amendment gun rights. And he voted with Democrats to actually support property tax increases. You all need to know what's going on. But once you know, you need to share what's going on. Listen, this is your future. These are your families. These are your values that are at stake. So, yes, we need you to go vote. And we need you to go vote tomorrow. Remember what Donald Trump said earlier this week and over the weekend. Donald Trump was saying, bank those votes early. Go bank your vote tomorrow. Don't wait until election day. Don't wait until this weekend. Go tomorrow. And if you want to do it right, you're not going to go alone. You're going to take a family member, a friend, a co-worker, a neighbor. You're going to take someone with you that you know that you and your friend and that other person you're with, all of those votes are going to be banked. And those votes get stacked day after day after day. And what's going to happen is going to be something where I'm not going to be the winner, and Helen's not going to be the winner. You are going to be the winners. Because this election isn't about Helen or me. This election is about you, your family, and your future. And you need to fight for your future, and you fight at the ballot box to make sure that you win this March by voting this February. Thank you for doing it. When we leave here, take one of these signs. There's got to be some others back there, some other campaign materials. Take it, share it with your friends. Put a sign in your yard. Put it up in a location that people will see. Find ways that you can help people know the name. And then when you visit with them, know the reason why you're supporting them. And I can guarantee you this much. When you send Helen to work with me in Austin, Texas, we're going to fight for you, for your values, and we will keep Texas the best state and the greatest country in the history of this world. Thank you all. God bless you all. God bless.